Gananam tva ganapatigam havamahe kavim kavinam upamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam brahmanam brahmanaspatana shrunvannutibhis sidasadanam Shri Mahaganadhipataye namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave namaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om. Dear friends, we are just seeing the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna in the beginning of 4th chapter. So the chapter began with a description of the lineage of the Shastra, who first taught whom. So Lord Krishna said, I have, in the beginning of the creation, I have taught this to the sun god. Sun god told his son Manu, and Manu told his son Ikshvaku, and likewise this long lineage of this Rajarshis, the philosopher kings, Rajanascha te Rushayascha, they were kings and at the same time they were saints. So there was a balance between the Kshatriya Dharma and Brahma Dharma. Brahma means not Brahmana Dharma. This is Vaidika Dharma, has to be balanced with this Kshatriya Dharma. Brahma Kshatriya Parirakshite. There are two interpretations which I said. Brahma Kshatriya, it means either both Brahmana and Kshatriya, that is the counselor and the king. So that way it can be taken. And Brahma Kshatriya Parirakshite, because we are talking about only one person, that is Rajarshi, Rajanascha te Rushayascha. He is a king and at the same time he is a saint. So Brahma Kshatriya Parirakshite means maintaining that balance between this Raja Dharma and also this Vaidika Dharma. That is both in one person. Brahma and Kshatram in one person. Paripalite Jagat Paripalayitu Malam. That is what we saw in the Bhashyam of Shankaracharya. That is, the king, if he is also endowed with this dharmic knowledge, he will be a dharmic ruler. He knows how much power has to be exercised, how it has to be exercised, and how proper rule has to be, proper administration has to be given. So that is what we saw in the last class. Then when Lord Krishna said, yes, this long lineage is like this, then Arjuna, he puts a question. And we saw that avatarika for that. Bhagavata Vipratishidha Muktaviti Mabhut Kasyachit Buddhihi iti Pariharartham. So let people not think, let somebody not think that the Lord is saying something incongruous because this Lord Krishna is in this particular Janma, according to Arjuna. He is Arjuna's contemporary. Arjuna is born in some Bharata clan and Krishna is born in some other Yadu clan. So he is only seeing him as his contemporary. So he is asking as to how could you are born now in this Yaduvamsha, you are the son of Vasudeva. How is it that you are claiming that you told Vivaswan? So it can be taken that Arjuna, for the benefit of the listeners, he is asking Chodyamiva Kurvan. Or Arjuna himself, he was under a sort of lack of understanding, maybe not delusion. Arjuna himself had that lack of understanding that Krishna was nothing but the incarnation of that supreme being. So then now the question is like this. We will read this shloka. Aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha kathametad vijaniyam tvam adau proktavaniti. Okay, he says, Tvam adau proktavaniti kathametad vijaniyam. That is, how do I know? How can I accept or how can I understand that you had told it in the beginning of creation? Tvam adau proktavan. You have told it in the beginning. Adau, in the beginning, you have told iti, that version. Katham etad vijaniyam. How can I understand? How can I accept it? Because aparam bhavataha janma. Bhavataha janma, your janma or your birth is aparam, that is later, it has happened later, that is in the present day, that is you are my contemporary. Param janma vivasvataha, vivasvataha janma, vivaswan is sun god. Vivasvataha means of the sun god, it is Shashti Ekavachanam. Vivaswan, vivasvataha, of the sun god, janma, his birth is param, that is much earlier. Vivaswan was born much earlier, that is in the beginning of the Sarga, that is in the beginning of creation, and you are now born as my contemporary. How is it? How can I accept? So it is a very simple shloka. Aparam bhavataha janma, param janma vivaswataha. Katham etat vijaniyam. Katham vijaniyam means how can I know? How can I understand? How can I grasp? How can I grasp it? Or how can I accept it? Not accept actually, how can I grasp it? Let us see, this Bhashyam also is one line. Aparam arvak Vasudeva gruhe bhavataha janma param purvam sargadau janmotpattihi vivasvataha adityasya tad katham etad vijaniyam aviruddharthataya यह त्वमेव आदौ प्रोक्तवान् इमं योगं सएव त्वमिदानीं मह्यं प्रोक्तवानसि इति. This is also quite direct, there is nothing much in it. Aparam arvak. Arvak means of a later date, belonging to a later date. Aparam arvak, belonging to a later date. Vasudeva gruhe bhavataha janma. Bhavataha janma, that is your birth, has happened, has taken place in Vasudeva gruhe, in the house of Vasudeva. You know who is Vasudeva? Devaki and Vasudeva, they were the people who actually raised him. They were not the actual parents, they have raised him. He was born he was born in Nanda house, Vasudeva, Vasudeva Gruhe, Vasudeva is the father, okay. Vasudeva Gruhe, Bhavataha Janma. Then Param Purvam Sargadav. Param, that is in olden days, much earlier, in the beginning, Sargadav, in the beginning of creation. Sarga is something, again, Sarga also happens in cycles, according to our tradition. Sarga is not one and one only. This Sarga, there is a Srushti, there is a Sthiti for some time, and there is a resolution thereafter. Then again there is another Sarga. So there are so many Sargas like that. So this Sarga, and in every Sarga, there is a new creation of this sun, there is a new creation of this lineage of kings, there is a new creation of all these things that go on. That is according to the, the Puranas give a very vivid description of all these Sargas and all that. So this Sarga and this sun and all these people that way, they are called the Adhikara Purushas. Adhikara Purusha is, they are having a fixed tenure. For example, Lord Yama, you say, Lord Yama, he is having a fixed tenure. Then Vishnu, there is some Vishnu, whatever you say, Vishnu, Rudra, Shiva and all these people, they have a tenure. Tenure in the sense, it is not as though there is a person called Shiva sitting there, not as though some person called Vishnu sitting there, but that particular function which is called creation is referred to as Brahma. That particular function, all these things are in the manifestations of this Maya only. And a particular manifestation called Srushti, and that particular function is called Brahma. Another particular function of maintaining that thing and then restoring order, like we are going to see, Paritranaya Sadhunam and all that. That is again the duty of somebody who is able to do that. He is something like a maintenance engineer. So he is the person, not as though some Vishnu is sitting and then with a lot of huge money bags and whatnot, Lakshmi and whatnot. That particular function is called Vishnu. Another particular function of all this thing getting back and then merging in Maya, that again, that process is called Shiva. So that is all. That is how we have to understand this Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Not that three people are sitting in three different lokas, not some three-dimensional lokas which are there somewhere up in the sky. It's not like that. So this Sarga also is again a particular creation. In every creation there are certain things like the sun, and then there is a long lineage of people and things like that. Sargadau janmotpattihi vivasvataha adityasya. Vivasvataha means adityasya, of this sun god Aditya. Then tat, that is in that case, katham etad vijaniyam, how can I accept it, how can I know, how can I understand or grasp? Aviruddharthataya, how can I ask without any how can I understand without any contradiction? Aviruddha arthataya, aviruddha, without any contradiction. How can I understand it without any contradiction? Aviruddha arthataya, yaha tvameva adau proktavan imam yogam sayeva tvamidanim mahyam proktavanasi. the one who told it earlier to Vivaswan, the one who told earlier the same yoga to Vivaswan earlier, the same person, Sayevatvam, the same person, you, Idanim Mahyam Proktavanasi, you are now, Idanim means now, Mahyam Proktavan, Idanim, now to me you have told. Mahyam Proktavan means, Mahyam means to me, Proktavan, you have told. How can I accept that the same person who told, sun god at some point of time, you are the same person who are now available before in front of me, and then you have just now taught me this particular yoga. So that is the meaning here. It's a very simple sloka. The next line, Ya Vasudeve Anishvara Asarvagnya Ashanka.
Anishvara Asarvagnya Ashanka.
Nana Asarvagnya. Anishvara, this is a long expression. Anishvara Asarvagnya Ashanka. It has to be broken. Anishvara Asarvagnya Ashanka.
Anishvara Asarvagnya Ashanka.
Murkhanam Tam Pariharan Shri Bhagavan Vacha Yadarthaha Hi Arjunasya Prashnaha. Okay, Ya Vasudeve Anishvara Asarvagnya Ashanka Murkhanam. So Murkhas means ignorant people. Ignorant people, they treat Vasudeva as an ordinary man. They treat Vasudeva as somebody who is who belonging to a sort of inferior caste. In fact, that is what has happened to him when he is in that Kaurava Sabha. When he goes to Kaurava Sabha as a messenger of say these Pandavas, then this Duryodhana and other people, they actually insult him. What is this Yadava going to tell us? In fact, they want to bind him. They want to bind him, and it is at that time he displays his Vishwarupa, and then all the people, they fall down, and we have seen all that. So that is what they think. All these people, the foolish people, they think that Vasudeva is nothing but an ordinary man. So that idea has to be eradicated. That idea has to be eliminated, removed from your mind. So for that reason, this is being told. Vasudeve Anishvara Asarvagnya Ashanka. Anishvara, that is, he is not Ishvara. Na plus Ishvara, Anishvara. Ishvara is lordship. Ishvara means Ishatvam. Ishatvam is lordship. That he is the Lord of the whole universe. That lordship, they do not know. They think that he is an Anishvara. Then they also think he is Asarvagnya. Sarvagnya is one who knows Sarvam. Then Sarvagnya has two meanings actually. Sarvascha, Gnascha, that is one meaning. In Vedanta, in fact, Sarvagnya is actually derived as Sarvascha plus Gnascha. It is Sarvagnya. That is, Sarvaha means, that is, he is the one who is encompassing everything. That is the Chaitanya. That is that if you refer to that cosmic being, you refer to one Hiranyagarbha. If you refer to something which is beyond the cosmic being and beyond Maya, you are referring to that Shuddha Chaitanya, which is called Brahman, that pure consciousness. So that pure consciousness is something which is of the nature of knowledge. Gna Swarupa. Gna means knowledge. It is of the nature of knowledge, that's all. Not that he knows everything, not that he knows what is in your mind, what is in excess mind or wise mind. It is not like that. He knows all trade secrets and he knows all the official secrets and what, not like that. So it is Sarvagnya means that. At a cosmic level, if you are talking, at the level of Maya, if you are talking, you are referring to Hiranyagarbha. So Anishvara Asarvagnya Ashanka. Ashanka means doubt. He is having a doubt, Samshaya. Ashanka Murkhanam Tam Pariharan. So that the doubt is being eradicated, that doubt is being Pariharan, that is being removed. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. He is saying, Yadarthaha hi Arjunasya Prashnaha. And Arjuna's question is only in relation to that only. Arjuna's question is in relation to that, in that context only. Then Bahuni iti. Let us read this mantra, shloka. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Bahuni me vyatitani. Janmani tavacharjuna. Tanyaham veda sarvani. Natvam vetha parantapa. Okay. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani. Me, Tavacha, may means of mine, and tavacha of yours. Bahuni janmani vyatitani. Many lives have gone by rather. Many lives, many births have gone by. Of mine and of you also, many births have gone by. Means we were born several times and we have disappeared several times. Tani aham veda sarvani. Tani sarvani aham veda. I know all those janmas. I am aware of all those janmas. Na tvam vetta parantapa. Hey parantapa, O parantapa. Tvam na vetta. You do not know. This word parantapa is that is the address, sambodhana. In fact, this parantapa was used in an earlier mantra also in the same in the second shloka also. Parantapa. Param tapayati iti parantapah. That is, he is the one who scorches his enemy. Shaurya tejo gabhasthibihi surya iva. Something like that it was there. Shaurya tejo gabhasthibihi. Where is that? Natvam vetta parantapa shaurya tejo gabhasthibihi bhanuriva tapayati. Yeah, you are actually scorching your enemies. That shaurya teja gabhasthi. Shaurya and teja, by your valor and your that ferocity. Not only valor but ferocity, that bravery, with all that you are going to vanquish your enemies. So you see, Shankaracharya is not prescribing sannyasa to everybody. We have to see these words. In fact, for this, what is this? This Vyaswan Manave Praha, that also we saw, but the very purpose of say Gita, Jagat Palaitrunam Kshatriyanam Baladhanaya, to infuse strength, to inculcate strength in the minds of the Kshatriyas. That is what is the purpose of Gita in this context. Of course, if you go to Uddhava Gita, the context is totally different. Uddhava Gita, the subject is same, but then there he is teaching sannyasa, he is teaching vairagya to Uddhava, because the context is same. That whole Yadu Vamsha was about to be destroyed or annihilated, and then in that context he is teaching that Uddhava to practice vairagya. That is a different context. But here in this particular context, Arjuna, his duty is to establish dharma, and then Lord Krishna has come only to see that the good people, they fight the bad, and then the dharma is restored. So that is the meaning here. So Kshatriya Jagat Palaitrunam Kshatriyanam Baladhanaya. Then he says Brahma Kshatriya Paripalite Jagat Paripalaitumalam. These two things have to be well balanced. This Vaidika Dharma and then this Kshatriya Dharma has to be well balanced, otherwise there will be no order in society. So that is what he was saying. So here again he is using the word parantapa, param tapayati, shaurya tejo gabasthibi. That is what he was saying. Then this shloka, may janmani, my lives or my births, let us say, bahuni vyatitani. Bahuni vyatitani means many lives have gone by. Vyatitani, they have just gone by. Tavacha, and also of you, hey Arjuna. Tani aham veda sarvani. Tani sarvani aham veda. I know all of them. Tvam na vetha. You do not know. Ved me, I know. Vetha means you know. Na vetha means you do not know. Hey Parantapa. Let's see, read this bhashyam. Bahuni me mama vyatitani atikrantani janmani tavacha he Arjuna tani aham veda jane sarvani. So the same thing. Bahuni, bahu is singular, bahuni is many. Bahuni vyatitani. Vyatitani means atikrantani. They have just gone by, they have passed by. Then janmani tavacha. Tavacha means of you also, hey Arjuna. Tani aham veda. Veda means aham jane. I know. Hey sarvani. Natvam vetha na janishe. You do not know. Then dharma dharmadi pratibadha Jnana Shaktitvat. Aham Punaha Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhavatvat Anavarana Jnana Shaktihi iti Veda Aham He Parantapa. Okay, he is making a distinction. Why I am able to know and why you are not able to know. So actually this avatara concept in one of these definitions I told, Avatara means, literally the word avatara means descending. Avatarati. Tru is the dhatu, the first original dhatu is tarati. Tarati means crosses. Avatarati means he descends, comes down. Avatara means something coming down from above, let us say. Something coming down from heaven, what we call heaven. So, avatara is that divine scheme of thing. There is some sort of manifestation of that divine scheme on earth. So, that is what is that avataranam, or appearance, or the descending. So, that is what we have to see. Then, when Krishna says, Bahuni me vyatitani, we should not take that Lord Krishna was also born like that several times, which means like this, he has come now in this context, that is in Dwapara Yuga, at the time of Mahabharata war, he has come. So likewise, he has also appeared earlier and he has also appeared several times on different occasions. And what are those occasions? We are going to see in the next shloka. That he is going to explain the next shloka. So in this shloka, when he says Bahuni me vyatitani, we should not think that he is also comparing himself with Arjuna. Arjuna is having several births, and Arjuna's births are dictated by his karma phala. For all the people on earth, however the births births are dictated by our karma phala. Whatever is the previous karma, depending on the karma, the person acquires a birth. Birth means what happens after death? The so-called subtle body. It is the subtle body which transmigrates, and then it goes and takes up another body, depending on the karma phala. If the karma phala is okay, you will get a human body. If the karma phala is really bad, you may become a dog or some pig or something like that. So that is the Siddhanta. So all these things happen to a normal human being. But when Lord Krishna is saying that he also had several births, we have to take it in a different sense. We have to take it in the sense that his avataras were there in the previous, on previous occasions also. On several previous occasions, his avatara was there. So that's how we have to take. Bahuni me vyatitani. Oh, he is making a distinction why Arjuna is not going to understand and why he is going to understand. Dharma dharmadi pratibaddha jnana shaktitvat. Dharma and adharma adi. Dharma plus dharma and adharma. We know what is dharma. That is a human mind. It is always functioning at a very transactional level. You are interacting with the world, and in the course of interaction, you perceive something as dharma. You perceive something as adharma. Then our understanding of this dharma and adharma, that is what is totally limited. It is totally limited to our total whole understanding is limited to the idea of dharma and adharma. That's all. We do not know beyond. We are in the so long as you are in this transactional world, you feel that you are a body, and then you are interacting with all other people around you, and then in that interaction you feel that something is dharma and something is adharma. So this is actually confining your knowledge. It is restraining, confining your knowledge. You are not able to know your own self. You are not able to know your own self because we are busy with this world. We are busy with knowing what is dharma and what is adharma. So because of this, we are not able to know our own selves. So that is what it is. Dharma, dharma, dharma adi, pratibadha. Pratibadha means something which has been blocked. Pratibandha means something which is a block. It is a mental block. This knowledge of dharma and adharma, all these things, just you are tied down to this thing. You are tied down to these things only. That is how we have to take it. You are tied down. Your whole perception, your whole comprehension is at this level only. You are tied down, and then this is a sort of block in your mind. Pratibadha jnana shaktitvat. Your jnana is blocked or restrained, or rather constrained by this sort of this at a lower level. It is stuck. It is let us say it is stuck there at the level of dharma and adharma. Then about himself he says aham punaha. Aham punaha means, on the other hand, if you talk about me, punaha means it also means it means on the other hand. Aham punaha, on the other hand, my case, nitya shuddha buddha mukta swabhavat. These words I have explained earlier. Nitya is eternal. Shuddha, untouched by any sort of karma phala or anything. There is no karma phala which touches the Supreme Brahman, because Supreme Brahman is above all these things. Shuddha, Buddha. Buddha means it is of the nature of knowledge. He is not a person who is a knower, but the person who is behind the seer. He is not merely this. He is not the seer. That is the knowledge. That knowledge which is motivating that seer, which is actually illumining that seer also. So that is what Brahma is. Brahma is that Buddha Mukta Swabhava. That is, there is absolutely no sangha. Sangha means no attachment, like in the case of human beings. So because of that, Anavarana Jnana Shaktihi. Avarana means enclosure. Anavarana means there is no enclosure. So there is no pratibandha, there is no block, there is no restriction, there is no obstruction to this knowledge. This Jnana Shakti is something which is supreme, which is all pervading. Because of that, I am able to see all these janmas. Your knowledge is stuck at the level of dharma and adharma, at a transactional level, whereas I am not like that. I am of the nature of that Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Swabhava. So that is why there is no restriction, there is no constraint on that Jnana. This is the Jnana which is actually illumining everything else in the world, everything else in the universe. So that is why I am able to know what are all those janmas, but you are not able to know those births. So, hey Parantapa. Then, Katham Tarhi Tava Nityeshwarasya Dharma Dharma Bhavepi Janma Ityuchyate. Okay, Katham Tarhi. Katham Tarhi means how then? How then? Tava Nitya Ishwarasya. In your case, Nitya Ishwarasya. You are that eternal ruler. Ishvaraha means that is, you are the eternal ruler. Nitya Ishwarasya. Dharma Dharma Bhavepi Janma Ityuchyate. Dharma and Adharma, you are not there. They are not affecting you. Then how is it that you are taking birth? You are not affected by Dharma and Adharma. Then how is it that you are taking birth? Dharma Dharma Bhavepi Katham Janma Iti Uchyate. That is being explained. Let us read this shloka. Ajopi sannavyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakrutim swamadhisthaya sambhavamyatma mayaya sambhavami plus atma mayaya sambhavamyatma mayaya. Correct. Okay, Ajaha Apisan Avyayatma. These 3-4 shlokas, they talk about this Avatara Tattva. In fact, in this Advaita text, there is not much, there is no great discussion on Avatara. In all these Advaita texts, apart from a few lines here, and then apart from a few lines in some Puranas. Puranas, of course, they are not very seriously taken, because Puranas, most of the time, they are very symbolic, stories, or rather allegorical stories. But then here, it is an itihasa. It is not Purana. Bharatam is an itihasa. And this Bhagavad Gita is the most consolidated sacred text. So, except these 3-4 shlokas which talk about an avatara, there are not many passages anywhere else, and then there is no discussion in Vedanta Shastra itself about the nature of avatara, because our Siddhanta is there is only one reality. One reality is that Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava, that is one Brahman, one supreme Brahman, which is of the nature of existence, consciousness and bliss. Existence, consciousness, and some other times it is also said as all pervading. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Satyam Satchid Ananda, that is one way of describing. Satyam Jnanam and Anantam, that is another way of describing. That is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, suppose you take. That is Satyam, that is that Trikala Badhya Satyam. That is what is Trikala Badhya Satyam. In fact, I explained it in the 16th shloka of 2nd Adhyaya. Nasato Vidyate Bhavo, Na Bhavo Vidyate Satah. There, what is Sat, what is Asat, in that context I explained. Sat is something which cannot be negated at any point of time. This snake which is appearing on a rope, it gets negated the moment I know that it is a snake, it is a rope. And then some dream I have, and in that dream, during that state of dream, I dream that there is something, I am in some either a very lavish house or in some poor house, whatever it is. I dream something. The moment I come out of the dream, that gets negated. That particular reality, which I thought it was reality at that time, that gets negated. Similarly, the knowledge of this world, this gets negated the moment we know that it is all manifestation in the Maya. The moment we realize that this is a manifestation in this Maya, and then once you know, go above these three gunas, this is all the effect of these three gunas that this whole universe has come into existence. And once we come out of this, then you realize this world also gets negated. So something which is negated at some level or the other, and it is only one Brahman which is not negated at any time. So that is what is called Trikala Badhyam. Not only past, present and future, it is there is no Badha. Badha means negation. It is not negated. The knowledge of that Sat, the knowledge of the existence of that is never negated. It is there. Sat is very much there. That is what is that. Why it has come? Ajopisan, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Ajopisan. Okay, I was telling about this Avatara Tattva. Okay, we know that Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma is that Brahman. Then from that Brahman, we know that according to Advaita, there is an energy which is manifesting in that Brahman. And that energy or Shakti, as we call it, energy means Shakti. That Shakti is called that Maya. You call it power or energy, whatever it is. There may be some technical difference between energy and power according to physics. But then you may, in a loose way, you can call it either a Shakti or power. Then that energy, it is having some constituents called say Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And because of that Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, that imbalance in that, this Srishti is created. And then this individual is Jiva is created. And then Jiva, the essence of Jiva is nothing but that Shuddha Chaitanyam only. The essence of that Jiva is nothing but Shuddha Chaitanyam. We are going to see, for example, there is a shloka in the 15th Adhyaya. Mamaivamsho Jivaloke Jivabhutas Sanatana. This is 15th Adhyaya, 7th shloka, 15-7 you may note. Mamaivamshaha Jivaloke Jivabhutas Sanatana. Jiva, every Jiva is an avatar. Every Jiva, every human being that way is an avatar. Because that is, because the essential nature, your essential nature is nothing but that infinity. That is what it says, Tattvamasi. And when you realize that, you say Aham Brahmasmi. The Shruti says Tattvamasi. And if you realize, you will say Aham Brahmasmi. So that is how that establishment, that the whole structure is. If that is the structure, then every Jiva is an avatar. Then again in 10th and in the same shloka, in fact Shankaracharya says, Ghatadi Upadhi Parichinnaha Ghatakashaha. It is something compared to a small vessel you take. In that small vessel, that vessel is an Upadhi. It is an adjunct, let us say. It is a limiting adjunct. And in that vessel, there is what is called space. If we break the vessel also, there is space. That space is never broken. Space is something which is continuous. But this vessel, temporarily, it looks as though it is, say, confining or delimiting that consciousness. So that thing is called an Upadhi. Temporarily, it is, giving its attributes to the attributeless Brahman. Temporarily, it is imparting this attributes to the attributeless Brahman. So that is what is Upadhi. So Ghatavachirna Akasham. Then compared to the Mahakasha, that is how Shankaracharya explains that shloka, that Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke in the 15th Adhyaya. Then again in 10th Adhyaya, there is another shloka, Yadyad Vibhutimat Sattvam Srimat Urjitamevava. Yadyad Vibhutimat, that is the 10th Adhyaya is called Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti means, what is Vibhuti? You go to a temple and then they give you some Vibhuti. That is not Vibhuti. Vibhuti, that is that ash. Once they perform that yajna, whatever ash is there, that ash is collected and then that is given as Vibhuti. That is not Vibhuti. Vibhuti, okay, in a small sense it is Vibhuti. V plus Bhuti. Bhuti is Bhavanam. Bhavanam means to be, to come into existence. Visheshena Bhavanam. V means Visheshena. That is a very energetic, excellent, great manifestation. Visheshena Bhavanam means that is an excellent appearance, an excellent coming into being, an excellent or rather you can say very energetic or a great manifestation, that is called Vibhuti. And in that Vibhuti Yoga, Lord Krishna describes what are all his Vibhutis. I am among birds, I am that Garuda. Among human beings, I am Arjuna. Among sages, I am Narada. Among Devarshis, I am Narada. Among sages, I am Kapilam Rishi. So like that, whatever is the highest in a particular species or in a particular class, say in discussion, I am Vado Pravadata, Pravadatam Asmi. I think Vada is, what is that Vada? Discussion. There is what is called Vada, Jalpa and Vitanda. Vada means a very honest discussion in order to find out the truth. Like this Samvada, Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvada we call it. Samvada is between a guru and a shishya, where a shishya is very inquisitively sitting and trying to understand. That is Samvada. Vada means it is of two people of two, the same level. They are actually they are doing some sort of brainstorming without any agenda. There is no agenda with anybody. Then they are just trying to find out the truth. That is Vada. So then Krishna says, Vado Pravadata, Vada Pravadatam Asmi. Among all the people who argue, I am the Vada. So whatever is excellent, that is his manifestation. That is what he says. So that way, that is a Vibhuti. Ordinary bhutis, all ordinary beings, we are also amshas. But then that is an excellent manifestation. Vibhuti is an excellent manifestation of that divine power. So that way, the Advaita Siddhanta says, you are an avatar. Then any other excellent manifestation, that is a special avatar. If you take some people like eminent people like Gandhi or some other people, that you can say that again is a Vibhuti. So that in that manner you can take whoever has contributed to the social good, whoever has contributed to the human good. So you can take it as a Vibhuti. So that is our Siddhanta. Then what is the difference between this appearance and that appearance? As we discussed, all our births are due to karma phala, whereas this avatara is not due to karma phala. Then regarding our births, in the case of our births, what is the material cause or upadana karanam? Upadana karanam is the 5 elements. This body is collected from the 5 elements. The body is called deha. Deha, the very word meaning deha means deha upachaye. It collects. It is a bundle. It is a bundle of collections. It is a heap of collections, let us say. It is a heap of collections. Deha upachaye. Upachayam means it is a heap. It is a heap of various collections. And where is the material? The material is from the 5 elements. But in the case of divine, in the case of an avatara, what is the upadana karanam or material cause? The material cause is maya. That is what he is going to say. This commentary is going to say that upadana karanam is that maya only. So anyway, we will read this thing. Ajaha apisan avyaya. We read this shloka. Ajopisan. Ajopisan means ajaha apisan. Ajaha means, what is this ajaha? Ja is janma, birth. Ajaha is one who is unborn. Whatever is eternal is something which is, it is unborn in the sense that it is always there. This Chaitanya, this infinite consciousness, this Sat and consciousness, this existence and consciousness, they are always there. It is because of that all other things are getting manifested. So you can't say that it was born at a particular point of time. There is no time frame or time scale for that. Ajaha apisan avyayatma. Avyaya, we also know this avyaya. What is this vyayam? Vyayam is expenditure. Avyayam is not getting spent. Not that he is having any infinite reservoirs of cash and cash flow and cash money, not like that. Avyayatma, the very nature. Avyayatma means by its nature is avyaya, that is non-perishing in nature. There is a manifestation of this earth, there is a manifestation of this universe, but then it is not affecting that supreme being, it is not affecting that supreme Brahma, it is not affecting that nature of that supreme Brahma. Not as though one part of this divinity is taken away and then this universe is created. It's not like that. Brahma is a niravayavi. Niravayavi means that which has no limbs. In the beginning, we discussed this question. How is this world appearing? Is it that God is taking out some limb and then creating something, this earth, universe, everything? It's not like that. In which case, God also will be a limited being. He may be a very big thing, a big person, but still a limited being. So there is no end to this universe. There is no end to that thing called Brahman. So the very meaning of Brahman is that Brahmanat. Brahmanat means expansion, large expansion, that's all. Then, where are we? Ajaha san Avyayatma. Avyayatma. Then Bhutanam Ishvaraha Apisan. Bhutanam. Bhuta means beings, of all beings. That which comes into existence is a Bhutam. Bhutanam Ishvaraha. Ishvaraha means one who controls everything. By how is he controlling everything? By giving them the power of thinking, not as though he is controlling by having a rule or a stick or anything. But then Ishvara means he is the person, he is the force behind it. He means not even he, it. It is the force, it is the intelligence behind it. Because of that intelligence, all things, all beings are able to interact. So that is the intelligence behind it. So in that sense, he is Ishvara, Api San. Though I am all that. Prakrutim swam adhishthaya. Swam prakrutim adhishthaya. Swam prakrutim means my own prakriti, my own nature, my own shakti. That is, as we were discussing, we are having a postulate called Maya in that Brahman. That Maya is the same as prakriti, according to Shankaracharya. Of course, some people make a distinction between Maya and prakriti, but then Shankaracharya does not make any distinction. He says prakriti and Maya are one and the same. In fact, Vidyaranya, sage Vidyaranya, he also writes in Panchadashi, Mayam tu prakrutim vidyat, Mayinam tu maheshwaram. Mayam tu prakrutim vidyat means you know, or rather it has to be known that Maya is the same as prakriti. Mayinam tu maheshwaram, that supreme being, Maheshwara does not refer to Shiva, Rudra or anything. That supreme being is Mayi. Mayinam, Mayi means one who has Maya is called Mayi. One who has Balam is a Bali, like that. Mayi is one something like a magician. There is no Upadana Karanam, there is no material cause. Just like a magician without any material cause, he creates something in the air, he just make it appear. So something like that, he creates this earth. So that is what Vidyaranya says. So Mayinam tu Maheshwaram. So like that, there is no difference between Maya and Prakriti. Prakrutim swam adhishthaya. Adhishthaya means having that as a base, keeping Maya as a base. Or rather, Maya is something which is there. Maybe Maya's adhishthanam is Shuddha Chaitanyam only. Maya's adhishthanam is Shuddha Chaitanyam. Maya is actually based on Shuddha Chaitanyam. Shuddha Chaitanyam is which is the substratum for everything. But then here he says, taking that as my base, Sambhavami Atma Mayaya, by my own Leela. Atma Mayaya means by my own Leela, by my own power, I am Sambhavami, I am appearing. Sambhavami means Bhavami, Sam is an Upasarga, Sambhavami, Yuge, something like that. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. Let us read this Bhashyam. Ajopi Janma Rahitopi San Tatha Avyayatma Akshina Jnana Shakti Swabhavopi San Tatha Bhutanam Brahmadi Stamba Paryantanam Ishvaraha Ishana Shilaha Apisan Prakrutim Swam Mama Vaishnavim Mayam Trigunatmikam Yasya Vashe Sarvam Jagad Vartate. Okay, we will stop here because the line is quite big. Ajaha Api San. Ajaha, he explained, Janma Rahitaha. You can't gaze that time or anything. Janma Rahitaha Api San, though it is so. Tatha, likewise, Avyayatma Akshina Jnana Shakti Swabhavaha. This Jnana is something which never, there is no question of decay, there is no question of depletion in that Jnana Shakti. That Jnana Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, we have heard of these three Shaktis. So there is no depletion of this Jnana, there is no depletion of this thing called knowledge. It is of the very nature of knowledge. So there is no question of depletion. Then, Swabhavopisan Tatha, likewise, Bhutanam Brahmadi Stamba Paryantanam. You are now seeing another word called Brahma. Brahmadi Stamba Paryantanam. What is this Brahma? What is this Brahma opposed to Brahma? There is single word Brahma. There is another longer Brahma. What is the difference between Brahma and Brahma? You have forgotten the very first class. You have forgotten the very, very first class. That is Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma. In the first line, Gurur Brahma, there is a dirgha, there is an elongated ha. In the second thing, it is not an elongated ha, it is just ha, Brahma. First line it is Brahma, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara. What is the difference between that Brahma and Brahma? Then something, my mistake. Brahma, this Brahma is that Supreme Brahman. This Brahma I have told several times that when you say Brahman in English or BRA Brahma in simple Sanskrit, that is we are referring to that Supreme Brahman, that unlimited Brahman, that which is called Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam, that is truth, that is existence, consciousness and eternity or infinitude. Existence, consciousness, eternity. So that is that Brahman. When you say Brahma, you are referring to the creator Brahma. This is, I think, several times I told. Brahma is the creator Brahma. So when you are referring to the Guru, when we say this shloka, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, you are first referring to these people, these three forces which I said, which are responsible for this Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, these three facets, these three functions, let us say. These three functions are called Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Then Guru Sakshat Param Brahma. When you say Brahma, you are referring to a neuter gender. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, they are all in masculine gender. When you are referring to this Brahma, you are referring to this Brahma which is a neuter gender. This is neither male nor female, na stri, na puman, na shanda. That is what Upanishad also says. Shanda means a eunuch. Some mischievous fellow should not say this is something which is a hermaphrodite. So the Upanishad also is very clear. It is of the nature of knowledge. It is of the nature of consciousness. It is neither a stri, na puman, na shanda. It is neither a woman, nor a man, nor a hermaphrodite. So that is how it says. So Brahma is something which is just, it has no shape, nothing. It is no akara, nirakara, nirguna. That is what it is. It is nirguna means that is beyond these gunas. So the Brahmadi Stamba Paryantanam. So when you are saying Brahma means you are referring to that creation, creator Brahma, or you are referring to that function called creation. So that function called creation is called Brahma. So Brahmadi, that is starting from Brahma. Brahma plus Adi means what? Starting from Brahma. Stamba Paryantam. Stamba is a small blade of grass. Stamba means not a stamba. We call stambham is different. Stambha is different. Stamba is a small blade of grass. Starting from that creator Brahma to the small blade of grass, for all these things, Ishvaraha, Ishana Shilaha. I am the illumining force. I am the illumining, say, Sat and Chit in all these things. All these beings, they are there only because of the Sat and Chit. Sat is the element of existence. The very fact that you are existing, that is what is caused by Sat. The very fact that you are thinking, that is called by Chit. That is something called intelligence is there. That is called Chit. So right from Brahma to the blade of grass, these two things are there. Sat and Chit are there in everything. So that is it. So Brahmadi Stamba Paryantanam Ishvaraha Ishana Silaha. I am the controller, means I am the force. I means whenever Lord Krishna says I, in this most of the context, he is referring to that Shuddha Brahman, Supreme Brahman, not to himself as some Yadava clan. Ishwaropisam Prakrutim Swam Prakrutim, that is Mama Vaishnavim Mayam, my Maya, my energy. Vaishnavi, Vishnu again we have to take it in the yogic artha, in the etymological sense. Vishnu is what? Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaraha. Shankaracharya has written a very long bhashyam on these two words, Vishwam Vishnu, on these two words in Vishnu Sahasranama. In fact, in Mahabharata, as I said, Shankaracharya has written commentary for I think three passages. One is Bhagavad Gita, the other is Sanat Sujatiya. There is a small passage called Sanat Sujatiyam. Sanat Sujatiyam is there is a saint called Sanat Kumara. He is a divine saint. That's Sanat Kumara. He teaches Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra wants to know Brahmagyanam of all the people. So Sanat Kumara comes and then he tells him. So the same thing what is there in Bhagavad Gita, in a slightly different words and all that, with different shlokas, it is there also. And Shankaracharya has written a commentary to that. Shankaracharya has also written a commentary to Vishnu Sahasranama, which is again there in I think Bhishma Parva. Bhishma Parva, somewhere toward the end, Bhishma tells it to Dharmaraja. So that is, there it comes, Bhishma Parva. So he has written a commentary, and Vishnu, Vishwa and Vishnu, these two words he very elaborately, I think 2 to 3 pages he writes, Shankaracharya. Vishnu is Vyapana Shila, simply speaking, that is that which is infinite, that is called Vishnu. Vishnu is not somebody who is sitting on the reclining on that snake and then Lakshmi pressing his feet, and not like that. That is a Puranic Vishnu. That is, it has to be taken as a symbol. It has to be understood in a totally symbolic way. Here Vaishnavim Mayam, that is all pervading Maya. Vishnu is Vyapana Shilaha. Vyapana Shilaha, Vaishnavim Mayam. Trigunatmikam. Trigunatmika, we know that Trigunatmika is this 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas are there in this Maya. Trigunatmikam. Yasya Vashe Sarvam Jagad Vartate. Yasyaha Vashe, in whose control this whole Jagat, the whole world, Vartate. Vartate means it moves. So up to this point we have read. Yaya Mohitam Sat.
Yaya Mohitam Sat.
Swam Atmanam.
Swam Atmanam.
Vasudevam.
Vasudevam.
Na janati.
Na janati.
Tam Prakrutim Swam.
Tam Prakrutim Swam.
Adhisthaya.
Adhisthaya.
Vashīkrutya.
Vashīkrutya.
Sambhavami.
Sambhavami.
Dehavan iva bhavami.
Dehavan iva bhavami.
Jata iva.
Jata iva.
Atma mayaya.
Atma mayaya.
Atmanaha mayaya.
Atmanaha mayaya.
Na paramarthataha.
Na paramarthataha.
Lokavat.
Lokavat.
Okay, the commentators have written very elaborately on this thing as to what is the Upadana Karana, what is the material cause and what not. I have very briefly told about that Upadana Karanam and things like that. Okay, where is that? Yaya Mohitam Sat. That is, Maya is something which is putting everybody in a delusion. Yaya Mohitam Sat. Swam Atmanam Vasudevam na janati tam prakritim swam adhisthaya. Sarvam Jagat Vartate. This entire universe, the whole universe is Mohitam. Mohitam means it is in a state of trance, it is in a state of delusion. It is in a state of delusion, it is in a state of moha. It is unable to see the truth. Moha is a state where you are unable to know the truth. That's all. Moha is nothing, it doesn't mean anything. It means that you are seeing something as something else. You are seeing Brahman as the universe, you are seeing Brahman as this, that, you are seeing Brahman as a friend or an enemy or a wife, child, things like that. So seeing Brahman as all these things in the world, that is what is called moha as per Vedanta. So Sarvam Jagad Vartate Yaya Mohitam Sat, by getting deluded by that, Swam Atmanam Vasudevam na janati. Swam Atmanam. So this loka, all these people, they are unable to see this Vasudeva. They are unable to see the real nature of this Vasudeva. Na janati tam prakrutim swam adhisthaya. By taking that as the base, by taking that Maya as the base, by using that Maya as this Upadana Karanam or the material cause, I am appearing. Sambhavami means appearing. Dehavan iva bhavami. I am appearing as though I am having a body. This Dehavan iva, Jata iva, these are the words which we saw in the introduction also. Dehavan iva, Jata iva. That is, as though he is having a body, as though he is born, as though he is born to that Vasudeva. So all that. Dehavan iva bhavami, Jata iva, as though he is born. Atma mayaya, Atmanaha mayaya, by my own Maya, by my own Leela. This is, as I was saying, Avatara is something which is a Leela Vigraha. It is not a real thing. It is due to Maya only. It is a Leela Vigraha where that Upadana Karanam is Maya. In the case of a human being, the Upadana Karana is the 5 elements. In the case of Avatara, the Upadana Karanam is Maya only. So that is how it is explained here. Mayaya na paramarthataha. Na paramarthataha means not in the real sense. Paramarthataha means not in the absolutely real sense. We know what is Paramartha and what is Vyavaharika. Paramarthika is something at an absolute level. There is nothing beyond it. Vyavaharika level is for day-to-day transaction. For the purpose of day-to-day transaction, we accept a particular reality called transactional reality. 5 minutes, okay. Na paramarthataha lokavat. Lokavat means like everybody. Like everybody. Everybody is having that Prakriti as, say the, not Prakriti, these 5 elements as the material cause. I am just appearing because of Maya, but I don't have that material cause. My material cause is this Maya only, my own Maya. That is what he is saying. Let us see this next shloka. Tacha janma kada kimartham cha ityuchyate. So that janma, kada means how, and kimartham, and what for. Kimartham means what for. Tacha janma, tat plus cha tacha, janma, that birth, kada, how, when does it take place, and kimartham, what for, cha, ityuchyate, that is being told. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. So we have been hearing this shloka since our childhood. Whenever you go to a movie, there whenever Lord Krishna appears, so he says this shloka. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tada atmanam srujamyaham. So it means like this. So this kada and kimartham, 2 questions were posed. Kada, when. Kimartham, what for. So this shloka is telling kada, when. Yada yada hi dharmasya. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanihi. Glani is what? Glani is a severe crisis, a severe state of crisis to dharma. So after all, the world, whatever universe is there, it runs on dharma only. Dharmo vishwasya jagatah pratishtha. That is, dharma is the thing which is the base for the entire universe. Without this dharma, the universe cannot run. Right from the cosmic beings, there is a cosmic dharma, that is, the sun has to function in a particular way, all other elements have to function in a particular way, and accordingly the human being is created. Human being is totally dependent on the external world. Human being every second we are every minute we are breathing, and if you don't breathe for a few minutes, we are gone. So that is, every minute you are dependent on the nature. If you don't have water for some time, you will disappear. So every minute we are dependent on the universe. Everything in the universe is dependent on everything else. So that is one particular type of dharma. Another type of dharma is among the human beings. There is something which is called dharma. There is something which is called adharma. So when there is a serious crisis to this dharma, then yada yada hi dharmasya glanihi bhavati bharata. Bharata is addressed, hey Bharata. Yada yada, whenever dharmasya glanihi bhavati. Glani, when that crisis happens, then adharmasya abhyutthanam. Abhyutthanam adharmasya, it has to be read as adharmasya abhyutthanam. Adharmasya means of this adharma, of this unrighteous conduct, unrighteous or villainous conduct. Abhyutthanam means upsurge, emergence. This tamoguna is say increasing. This sattva-guna is on the down. Sattva-guna is totally suppressed by this tamoguna. Like what happens, we see in Puranas, where this Rakshasa Shakti is growing. Rakshasa Shakti is growing means that Asura Prakriti, that is Tamoguna. Tamoguna is on the rise and the Sattva Guna is on the decline. Then there is a need to restore that balance. Abhyutthanam adharmasya tada atmanam srujami aham. Tada, then atmanam aham srujami. Atmanam means myself. Aham srujami, I am creating. I am creating myself. So that is the meaning. Yada yada he means yasmat, because yada yada dharmasya glanihi bhavati. Yada, whenever there is a crisis to this dharma, then adharmasya abhyutthanam, then upsurge of this adharma, upsurge of this unrighteousness in the world, then I create myself. Tada atmanam aham srujami. I create myself. So that is the meaning. I think we will see the Bhashyam in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yamaya.